Thanks for viewing a video in my channel. I want you to know that because of people like you, I am able to make the contents that I love to do. But I learned that majority of my views come from people who are not subscribed to my channel. I know that subscribing to my channel is just a click to you, but it gives me the inspiration and motivation to continue my work. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification button. Thank you again. Let's move to the content. For reasons inexplicable, major rivers are drying up all over the world. Many are shrinking in length and breadth. Some rivers are so desiccated, they have become virtually impassable. Patches of riverbed poking out above the water are a common sight. From the US to Europe to Asia, waters have receded, leaving nothing but barren banks of silt and oozing, muddied sand. Canals are emptying and reservoirs are turning to dust. The decimation of rivers has economic and ecological costs. Most people on the planet depend on rivers in some way, whether for drinking water, to irrigate food, for trade, energy, or transportation. Replenishing rivers also threaten the lives of many species of riverine life. The survival of the nations is at risk. Scientists say that drying up is induced by man-made climate crisis. Not every scientist accepts the premise that mankind is responsible for a significant rise in the planet's temperature and water shortages. Those denying mankind's responsibility do not deny that global temperatures were on the rise at the end of the 20th century. They believe the Earth has gone through multiple cycles of hot and cold periods long before the Industrial Age or the modern-day rise in CO2 emissions, contending that climate change is primarily triggered by natural processes. Religious people associate weather-related changes with prophecies, judgments, and signs of end times. You might have noticed that the recent drying up of Euphrates River is considered as the fulfillment of Revelation 16. According to the Bible, there will be crisis all over the world before the second coming of Jesus. Jesus Christ in the book of John prophesied that the sign of his coming will be preceded by unprecedented natural and man-made catastrophes including wars and rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, such as pandemics, and earthquakes in various places, Matthew 24 verses 3-7 and Mark 13 verse 8. The Apostle John recorded in his famous prophecy about the Four Horsemen that the times just before Christ's return would be marked by wars, signified by a red horse, and widespread food shortages, signified by a black horse, probably caused by water shortage. According to Revelation 6 verses 1-8, hunger and disease will claim the lives of 1/4 of the world's population. Jesus referred to these increasingly severe global catastrophes as the beginning of sorrows that will precede even greater calamities that will strike sinful and rebellious nations of the earth, Matthew 24 verse 8. The Bible reveals the sobering prophetic significance of dramatic weather-related events that will announce that the return of Jesus Christ is near. Having said this, let's see the lists of rivers that are drying up. The Colorado River is the lifeblood of the U.S. Southwest, but today it is drastically depleted. The river is drying up at its banks and thinning out, as a historic drought in the U.S. West shows little sign of abating. The river is crucially maintained by two of the country's largest reservoirs, and to safeguard the river basin, the government has implemented mandatory water cuts and asked states to come up with additional action plans. Despite the efforts, the water level is continuing to drop. Long stretches of the Mississippi River have run dry. The country's second longest river has seen water levels fell so low in some places that they surpassed records set more than 30 years ago. This critical river and its tributaries, responsible for transporting farm products worth $1 billion and 60% of all U.S. corn and soybean exports annually, has been stricken by drought since September. Newspapers report that Germany's Rhine River has receded so much that it has hindered the shipment of coal, gasoline, and other important supplies. The Rhine starts in the Swiss Alps, flows through Germany and the Netherlands, and then flows all the way out to the North Sea. It's a crucial channel for European shipping, but right now, it's a nightmare to navigate. The river cuts right across the top of Italy and flows out east into the Adriatic Sea. It's fed by winter snow in the Alps and heavy rainfall in the spring, and has a steep fall that brings a fast flow. Typically, devastating floods are more of a problem around this river. But now, the Po River, Italy's longest river, is hitting record low water levels after months without heavy rainfall. In some places, the river has completely disappeared. The Danube is Western Europe's longest river and a crucial shipping channel that passes through 10 countries. The mighty Danube that inspired Strauss, Beethoven and Brahms, is seeing its lowest water levels in nearly a century. Recently the river revealed World War II-era German warships the Nazis sunk near the Serbian town of Prahovo to keep them from falling into enemy hands. The Loire in France sustains a valley of vineyards that produce some of the world's most famous wines. The river stretches over around 600 miles and is considered France's last wild river. Some sections are so dried out from the lack of rain and extreme heat that people can cross by foot. Elbe is a river in Central Europe that arises in northwestern Czechoslovakia and flows northward through Germany to empty into the North Sea. The river's water level receded so low near the Czech Republic town of Desin that it revealed a hunger stone from earlier generations. Chiseled into the rocks were the words "When du Michigan seest, Dan Wine," or in English, "If you see me, then weep," warning future generations of the misfortune that follows such low water levels. In China, the receding water levels of the Yangtze, the longest river in Asia, are threatening the lifestyles of more than 400 million Chinese and the global supply chain. A record-breaking drought has caused parts of the Yangtze River to dry up, affecting hydropower, shipping routes, limiting drinking water supplies, and forcing major companies to suspend operations. Climate change have choked the twin rivers of Tigris and Euphrates, which made Mesopotamia a cradle of civilization thousands of years ago. These were the river that is said to have watered the biblical Garden of Eden and helped give birth to civilization. Euphrates River runs 2,800 kilometers across Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. Both rivers, that are the lifelines connecting cities in Syria and Iraq, are believed to have been affected by heat and new dams built in Turkey and Iran. It is also reported that the twin rivers could go completely dry by 2040. What are your thoughts on the sudden drying up of rivers? Let me know in the comments.